Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today, I guess more like tonight, we are going to jump into day 2 of festival coverage. We've got a lot more information to go into. We got the top cuts and how they went. We got winners from 2 different places. We also have another top 8 list. We got a lot. We got a lot to go over. That and a little bit more controversy, but we'll try to make sure that it's like as unbiased as possible and just, you know, more details so that we can kind of start a narrative that I'm going to continue later. I'm not gonna front though. I am busting it out for this. This is currently like almost midnight. I want to get this out to you guys before 1 a.m. Hopefully right around 1 a.m. I guess. But based off of yesterday's video, you guys are kicking it. You guys are coming in, viewing, liking the video. So I'm going to set a huge goal for this one. All right. Let's see if we can't get this video to 1,000 views, and why not we just say even 100 likes. Last one got released less than 24 hours ago, and it's currently about 600 views, 40 something likes. I think we can double that. I think we can easily double that for the finale of the first fest weekend. And I just want to say thank you guys for all your support. We're still on the road to 2K, and we are going super strong. So normal shoutouts as per usual. First and foremost, the official Facebook group. That's where we get our official announcements. That's where we get our spoilers. You get the discussion group where people talk about it. You got the Reddit where people talk about it. You got Universe X Discord where people talk about it. You got Universe X Facebook where not a lot of people actually talk a lot at all. If you like the content though, you can subscribe, hit that notification button, you know, just like comment on the video, help it trend, and you know, just help the channel grow. The bigger we get here, the more things I can help do for the community. We can get back into box openings when I can actually just start using YouTube money for those boxes instead of like digging into my own pockets. I'm sorry guys, that's why we skipped this set for that. That's why we got to skip Sand Showdown, so kind of rough. But we will like get back into it as we start making more on this channel. If you want to see me in a different light covering different content, you also got UniXDB and UniX Gacha where I play Dragon Ball games as well as Gacha games. But past then, the last thing I just want to touch on is TCGMetalZ, partner, sponsor, friend. They make the sickest metal cards, and we are still doing a giveaway. Just placing that in the right time because right now it's fest coverage time. So without further ado, let's jump into that. The couple things we have here. We have actually Latin America as well as Texas. And I also have a new top 8 list because Europe had 2. They had one in Leeds and they had one in Knots. And I have the top 8 of Knots after Swiss, courtesy of I think the homie Jamie in the European Facebook group. There's a group chat. I don't know why I'm in the European group chat, but you know what? Call me Pitbull because I'm Mr. Worldwide. Look, point is, I just wanted to go off of this. This is kind of crazy. After Swiss, you have Blue Baby at 1st seed, U7 Goku at 2nd seed, King Piccolo at 3rd seed, Red Jiren at 4th seed, Yellow Trunks at 5th seed, King Piccolo at 6th seed, 7th seed is Cooler Mill, I'm assuming blue-red, or red-blue, and then 8th seed is Red Jiren. It is crazy how many red decks are popping up, and red may no longer be rogue. It's crazy. Like all it took was yellow getting smashed for red to start popping up in a major way. So this is very interesting. And as a red player, currently only red because Gohan's in red, I feel really good about this. Moving over to the way these things got broken down. First off, once again, I want to say congratulations to everybody that topped, everybody that came out and did your thing, the people that didn't top, the people that bubbled, everybody who came out to show love to these Bandai events. Round of applause for you. And I want to go over to Latin America. Unfortunately, I had to miss the top 16 match. I'm at work while these things happen, so I try to do the best I can. But once again, I'm busting over this. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to get all this coverage out. But I didn't get to see game 1 of Latin America. I just know that Green Turles won it. Top 8 was a match between UI Goku and Red Blue Cooler. Now, this is actually pretty funny because watching this one, you'd expect it. You know, it's Mill versus Burst. This is a test that we've been saying is to be tried this entire format. Oh, what if you run into Mill? Oh, I don't care if I run into Mill. I just want Mill myself. And, you know, everybody's going back and forth. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is, before I even get into how this matchup went, I thoroughly believe that even though Swiss is best of 1 pre-side, Top Cut should be best of 3. I just think that it should be best of 3. There's just no reason why it should be best of 3. The fact that we have to decide after every match, like, lets me know that you have a main deck and a side deck. There should be best of 3 in the Top Cut, because that takes a lot more variance out and allows players to shine harder as just players in general. So if we ever do these events in the future, or if we start doing best of 1 pre-side, I definitely think that once we get to that round, it needs to be best of 3, normal. Now, moving past that, the only game, towards the end, you had U7 in a position where you thought that, like, you know, it can be pretty strong. Like, I believe he dropped Ultra Mastery. It was pretty ridiculous. However, by the end of it, Mill did what Mill did. And, you know, with every Mill's different. Janemba is a slow burn that kind of gets you over multiple turns, doing the same consistent thing. 18 will give you so many tokens and then freeze the maximum overdrive or 100% overdrive and just blow you out. Cooler is more like bursty. It may not be like as consistently, like, yes, you have effects, but it may not be like inevitable grind like Janemba, but it's not like blow you out in 1 turn, kill turn like 18. It consistently bursts like just over. That sounds like an oxymoron, but it bursts you over and over. And what happened here is the guy played his SCR, the U7 Goku played his SCR, and Cooler, sheesh man, Cooler was able to hit him with the Videl counterplay. Oceanus this man, and then he was able to also use Jiren effect to minus more, and so the guy just got put in a position where he thought he was going to try to go for a game with a Secret Rare, ended up pretty much being able to lose just by passing without mistake. He either went down to 0 that turn, or it was like if his opponent if he just passed, all his opponent had to do was pass the game back to him, and he just draws in his game. Now the top 4, we got Black Hatch versus Gogeta Zeno. Makes me so upset. Black Hatch was really out here doing things. Gogeta Zeno doesn't really have dual attack. Like, Trunks is the only guy, and so, you know, really you just use your petrifications on that dude, and it kind of sucks. So yeah, unfortunately Black Hatch really just kind of got the dub on Gogeta Zeno. It's part of the game. Now, for their finals, as crazy it is, all these new decks are up, and the finals of Latin America was Black Hatch versus Red Blue Cooler. And this was the most crazy thing I saw. So they're going, and towards the middle or end of this match, homeboy goes, all right, charge Bardock the Eliminator. And I'm looking at this energy and I'm like, red, blue, red, blue, red, yellow. What the crap? Like, did he not have anything else he wanted to charge, but he just wanted to have the colorless? I wasn't quite sure. His opponent played a battle card. This man hit him with the giant ball. I was like, oh. Like, the chat was blowing up. I cannot believe this dude. And when he decided, he literally just sided in, I think, 4 giant balls. And he already played Bardock the Eliminator in 8, I believe. So he was really just out here charging the one of them so he could use Giant Ball on his opponent, stall him for another turn, add another layer of defense. That was absolutely big brain. That dude was playing like freaking 8D chess. It was ridiculous. So shout outs to you, sir. Shout outs to your actual revealed red blue cooler that sides into red blue yellow splash cooler. Ingenuity at its finest, and you put Hatch away. As far as I'm concerned, you're a freaking superhero. So no offense to you, Hatch player, but like I said, I've already given my feelings about Hatch player. If you play Hatch, you just don't want other people to have fun. It's just what you set out to do. You are the fun police. Now, we're gonna go into the top 16 of Texas, okay? It took a while for the stream to get on. First and foremost, I do have to give a shout out to Eggman. Eggman is the stream champ right now. Like, he did Carta Magica, he did this one. Like, he's about to just start being able to open a business for professional streaming. And yeah, it's just crazy. I'm happy that you were able to get that set up, and I wish they hired you day 1, because they really honestly should have given us coverage on day 1. And honestly, Play TCG is kind of under some heat right now because they did some really weird things. They kind of weren't cool. But before we get into that, we had top 16 match. First one is George Machado, owner of PPG, shout out to Dog, and Giancarlo Paradiso, the homie, the man, the myth, and he came with his like supreme conquers hockey in this point. Like I saw this dude and I was like taking off my glasses and I literally I see Kaido and I like put my glasses back on and I see like just Giancarlo. Like that dude was really on it. Like that match was brutal to watch. At first it looked like Giancarlo was stalling out, like wasn't really getting his pieces. And this is probably the case too, but then he just like, when he turned on the gas, my lord, he turned on the gas. Took that match from what looked like George being able to set up without any, real interference to just putting this dude in a corner, put Baby in a corner. And then there was this one turn where I guess like he was holding double Dragon Thunder and so he felt like a little safe and he tapped out for Meki. And to be fair, Meki is going to block and tap something. Meki stops 2 attacks. You got Dragon Thunder, you got Haze. He felt pretty decent on what he could do. He passed, boy, Giancarlo literally just windmilled. And I don't even mean like he didn't gently place it. This dude he just freaking launched the God Rare onto the field, tapped 4, blew up this man's board, proceeded to game him this turn. Not to mention flash it up at the camera just to let you guys know it was the God Rare. That was amazing. As Daryl said, Sublet is probably rubbing off on Giancarlo because that was definitely some Sublet levels of flexing for no reason. Like that was one way to start off the event with a bang. So that was hilarious and that was really cool. Next we have Juhabak versus Austin Waldron. Yua was on Sin and freaking Austin was on Trunks and Vegeta. Unfortunately, this one was not close. Austin has been I've seen his name up on top charts lately. Like dude's a player, but Yua was just like on another level with this match. Like he just completely looked to be in control the entire time. Dude was going off on all cylinders, and then the game-breaking play. The play was wild. He pushed his entire board into his opponent, and while his opponent had Poutine up, homeboy literally played Son Goku forever in our memories. Yeah, the skill drain-esque unison, and then over that, he successor for Celzino ripped 3 cards from this dude's hand and punched his lights out for game. That was beyond cool. Like to see a tech like that go off. My cats are just running around. To see a tech like that go off was just insane, and it still shows that even with decks that people feel are tried and true, explored to the max, there are still more things that you can do with them depending on how the format shapes. And Yua showed us that today, and so I am so happy that he was able to do that. That was just crazy. That was like literally one of the plays of the day. Like, I mean, Giancarlo nuked an entire board with this God Rare. Just blew out George for tapping out. And then Yuha just actually just went, oh, you got a Poutine there? It'd be a shame if I were to turn it off. And then just immediately went off with Celzino. That was crazy. Now, top 4 was Danny Nee and Gogeta Zeno versus Yuha with Sin Shenron. Unfortunately, and I'm not gonna say unfortunately, because Danny, this might be like a breakout period for him. I'm not sure, because now that I know he has the same name as like Super Shenron Danny Nguyen, I don't know how many times I may have thought that that Super Shenron Danny Nguyen was in a tournament, but it was actually this Danny Nguyen. There's too much to go back, and I am not going to try to. But what I am going to say is that this gentleman got in there and he did his thing. He went hard as crap, absolutely busted these like games out. Like I actually like had to talk to a client and I looked back and the game was over. This dude came through. So hey, you're doing your thing. Congratulations, Danny Nguyen. You deserved it. Next we have top 4, Mike Kano versus, or only KP, versus Henry Silva. Now, this match was under a lot of speculation because it's no secret now that for whatever reasons, I'm not going to say, because I can't confirm. I'm not going to say this was intentional. I'm not going to say that the TO was involved. I'm not going to say that, there's no way to know. But what is known is that both of these players did not show up for their round 7. They were gone at the end of round 6. They did not come back until after the end of round 7. Because of this, they were both given draws, which is the problem I have with this, because at draws in this game, you have 1 point. Wins are 3 points, losses are 0. This means that at one draw, and then they played out their last rounds, and I believe they won. At one draw, no, actually, no, sorry, they didn't have to do that. They were all XO, and they got one draw. So at 6-1, well, 6-1-0, they literally had one extra point than every X1. And we saw that, unfortunately, Rohit as well as Russell were both X1s at 17th and 18th place. And the thing about this is people are like, well, they could have still been there. Dude, no. If these two players had gotten game losses as they should have for literally not being in the room, they would have both had game losses. They would have been X1s, but their tiebreakers would have also been slightly lower because they're both losses. There's a high probability that winning out, Russell and Rohit would have been in top 16, whereas like Mike and Henry would have not. So I'm a little upset with the TOs for that. I'm actually very upset with the TOs for that because that just doesn't make any sense. Say what you want. Like, I can be down with Mike being a good person. I don't know. I've seen Mike in other places. I can be okay with him being a good person. I don't know enough about Henry to say yay or nay, and I'm not trying to be biased like that. But what I do know is that there's no reason that two people who were not in the literal venue should be rewarded over people that played out their games. That should have been a double game loss. It really should have been. And to be honest, a lot of tournaments, if you don't show up to your freaking table, that's a drop. You don't show up to your table and more than a certain amount of time elapses, that's a game loss. More than that time elapses, it's a drop. So the reason why these guys got freaking draws is beyond me. But it really did screw over two people that sat every round to play, and that is unacceptable. And if you guys hate me for that, let me know down in the comments, and I will gladly get in there and argue exactly why you don't make sense. I'm sorry. Like, you would feel totally different if you had played out all 7 rounds and got blocked out of the top 16 by two people who were absentee. Just is what it is. So that being said, we're gonna get back to that off that tangent. Mike Kano and Henry Silva. I'm not gonna lie, my notes for that match were bruh because I was very upset that they were technically in where they were because of the debacle that happened the previous day. But it's King Piccolo versus Blue Red Soul Striker. In all honesty, Blue Red Soul Striker tried its best. I saw a fair amount of the match. They were kind of going in, but yeah, King Piccolo is that dude, and we're gonna talk about that too in a minute. Now moving forward to the finals, it was Mike versus Danny. Now Mike did win the last one, so it's King Piccolo versus Gogeta Zeno. And this one was a bit of an interesting case because I'm not gonna take away anything from Mike. Despite what happened yesterday, Mike, for the most part, was playing well. I do believe a super combo was used off of the TP, and the TP should only be touching Demon Race. So that was a little weird, or Demon Clan. That was a little weird, and I wish somebody, players or judges, would have caught that, especially in the finals. But for all intents and purposes, past that, like, potentially game-breaking, like, you know, overstep of the rules, Kano played well. Now, on the other hand, Danny had really bricked. His first 2 mills were atrocious, and there's 2 things I'm gonna say about this. 3 things, actually. 1, that's just how the game is. Sometimes you do well in variants, sometimes you don't do well in variants. 2, this is what Gogeta Zeno does as a deck. You are flipping your top 5 into your warp. So as much as I was like, dang, that sucks, you get into the tournament attempting to high roll everybody you face. So when you low roll, you don't have anybody to blame but yourself for playing the deck. That being said, Danny had almost exclusively faced King Piccolo in the top cut. And the fact that he had beaten them, like, I think Giancarlo was only lost by 10K, but the fact that he had consistently beaten King Piccolo in the top cut shows to me that he probably did get an extremely low roll when it came to his mills to lose in the finals to what could have been his best matchup, provided that he had smacked it multiple times in Swiss and had actually smacked it multiple times in top cut. So, that being said, Mike comes out with the win. He is our first American Fest champion, and that's cool. So that right now leads us with, I need to figure out what Europe and Asia, what they did, who their champions were after Top Cut. But for Latin America, the top deck was Cooler. Tricolor Cooler, technically. And then for Texas, we currently have King Piccolo, and we also have Miami coming up next week, which your boy will be at. So if you find me there, holla at me. And yeah, that's actually a pretty cool comprehensive thing. Now, looking at this, we're gonna dive directly into the format. We got more videos planned for this week, and I cannot wait to get back into them with you. But we are entering a place where you can clearly see that King Piccolo is probably going to be the most anticipated deck. You still have a lot of U7 Red Gokus, but U7 Red Gokus is kind of taking a little bit of a back seat. We did have some get into the top cut, like shout out to Janik for getting there. But and you have some top cuts in, you know, Knots. I just talked about that one. It's a deck that can ball, but King Piccolo is showing to pound for pound be the de facto red deck. And so you're gonna need to know that matchup. If you don't know that matchup already, you're gonna need to know it. And even when you know it, you need to kind of figure out what you can do for floodgates, because honestly, the deck has the most amount of free cards that any deck has had in quite some time. So that being said, thank you guys for the support. I hope you guys like this speedy late night coverage of these events. I want to get it out as soon as possible because, like I said before, I'm trying to be the best, if not one of the best content creators for this game that you have the ability to, you know, subscribe to. So thank you guys. I will see you guys the next time you decide to join Universe X. This video is just the first of many this week because we got a lot more content due to this competitive nature of events, and I will see you next time.